it's really interesting to enhance the human experience with technology, because basically what's really interesting is when you blend both together, when you're using actually data, you know, what is often called data exhaust those days, master data, in order to understand how your customers are using your products. And from there, trying to understand their experience and trying to continuously, in an agile way, improve their experience. So I'd like to say we don't do technology for technology. It's not about happy engineering. It's not just about the experience. It's how we blend together. And that's really where we're trying to take our digital journey. So we really try to understand a lot the sentiment of our customer. We have a global customer platform. We use Salesforce actually for that. Just to give you an idea, we're recording around 15 billion customer interaction a year on that platform. That's a lot of insight, that's a lot of data. So we're using actually AI technology, machine learning, trying to go through all those scripts, all those information, and try to derive the sentiment of the customers that are interacting with us. And of course, in addition to that, we just don't look at customer, we try to understand more broadly on the web, on social media, etc. What's the sentiment of a broader community towards Schneider? But we're very, very targeted at our customer on mining as much insight as we can, thanks to AI and machine learning, from all the interaction that we gather with our customer on our customer platform. So we try to understand pain points through a number of ways. We try to use product telemetry, try to understand how people are using our products. We try, of course, to play with A/B testing. We try also to get other source of insight. We're using a technology called Medallia in order to understand at Schneider Electric the customer surveys and what customers want to tell us about their experience with us. We also sometimes try to use almost more ethnographic viewpoint, trying really not to say anything, not to ask anything, but to visualize how customers are interacting with our product. I mean, we used to have a fairly, two separate fields. We used to have a field of customer experience that were sort of very marketing driven. And then we used to have a field of IoT that used to be very product driven. And what we see more and more is actually the convergence of those two fields, because you build actually customer experience on top of your product, on top of data exhaust from your product, and suddenly those two fields are you find them very, very integrated instead of being, standalone one versus the other. At Schneider, we really look at the lifetime value of our customers, and we do it from a number of ways. And it's actually a pretty good example on how you apply AI practically, right? So we're actually using Einstein from Salesforce to really mine on all the 15 million yearly interaction we have on our customer platform and try to understand what our customers want from us. So it can then, result in a couple of practical use cases. It can be in a call center, actually, making sure that our agents have at their fingertips all the information they need in order to react and answer, on our customers' request. Or it can also be on the field for our sales team, making sure that we score leads and opportunities so that we basically invest resource where it makes the most sense for our customers. At Schneider Electric, we are the global leader in energy management and automation. We believe in IoT, actually. We're instrumenting everything we do. So our products, are often connected. We have edge control edge devices, that allow you to have a control loop actually locally close to the mission critical processes we are operating. And then we have a layer of apps and analytics that go above. There's a free layer of the IoT architecture that we call EcoStruxure in Schneider Electric. And those three layers are actually pretty fundamental, and we really use it in order to be able not only to react to customer, but to be proactive. It's a concept that we call, close the loop, and it's pretty obvious. So what we try to do is, through our analytics, our digital offers, we basically try to identify areas where our customers would need help. It can be optimization service, it can be preventative maintenance, it can be a number of events that are triggered by our products. More and more actually enhanced by machine learning, enhanced by AI, so that we don't wait for a problem to basically surface before actually we tackle it. So all our architecture is really meant to keep a control on the edge so that we can be real time, we don't depend on any network, etc. But also to abstract some value on some information in the cloud, very often predictive, and then use this information in order to proactively reach out to a customer, whether there are value creation opportunities for them, or whether it's just about being preventative and preventing an event downtime before it happens. At Schneider Electric, we of course look at the customer over their life cycle, right? We believe in the total life cycle value of a customer, and we're really focusing on creating value for our customers with our innovative solutions, with our bold ideas. So what we really are trying to do is to leverage basically data exhaust, metadata insights, so that we can prevent problems from happening. By preventing those problems from happening, we try to deliver two things, right? First, of course, you reduce churn because it's customer satisfaction, and of course, it's a shared value you're creating with your customers. And it's also, of course, very much about security. I mean, very often, I hear people saying, well, I don't want to instrument this because of security, etc. Fine, but if you instrument it well, if you instrument it with all the right approach on cybersecurity, suddenly you know what happens. And if you know what happens, you actually are improving your cybersecurity posture. And that's really what, through innovation, where we want to go and where we want the overall industry to improve its cybersecurity posture and approach.